by showing up as myself, talking about the things I'm going through so you don't feel, hi, it's Susan. And today I want to talk about a couple of things that I have been thinking about. I've had a lot of reflection time. This past month, June, I had so much going on, so much creative energy, and so many things brought back onto my path. I've noticed that a lot. People that I haven't seen for a while or heard from, they're now back in my life. And then the whole comedy thing. My God, I didn't think that would ever come back. I find myself in this in-between liminal, such a beautiful word, place. I think a lot of us go through this from time to time. As a perimenopausal woman, I'm going between two phases of my femininity or my womanhood, or however you want to frame that. I have been in a lot of introspective of what do I want? That's what seems to keep appearing for me. How do I want to show up for me? I think is the most important thing to ever ask yourself. What do you want and how do you want to show up for you? Which brings me to this video I watched the other day. Because when I don't know about you, but when I'm like thinking through stuff or processing, sometimes I do it verbally and sometimes I do it quietly or in a journal or just in my thoughts. I tend to gravitate to creators on YouTube or in other places who are speaking to it, the thing I'm in the process of. Because it gives me inspiration, it validates something, that's what it's there for. So I was watching this YouTuber, and if I can find it again, because he showed up on my feed and I was like hyper focused. I think why I stopped to listen. First of all, the hook was pretty amazing. Let's give a shout out for that. It was this kind of title like, a lot of us are done. That terminal phrasing that you feel like there's a completion to something. What's that? I want to know more. So the hook hooked me. You caught me. And it was a lot about how people are feeling and experiencing things right now. Like I'm not interested in my hobbies anymore, kind of apathy. And I know that feeling. I'm not saying I'm completely over it or if I won't have another wave of it. I just was thinking to myself, for myself, about what that is. And I think that's what 2025 was. I was looking at it and contemplating what it meant to me. It's what I felt like after last year. I have been open on this channel about it. I had lost my father in 2024 after living in my home, my childhood home, for 3 months. The final stages of his dementia I was present for, and that's a hard thing to walk through with a loved one, specifically with my dad, because guys, if you knew my dad, oh my God. Yeah, I know I'm his daughter and everything, but he had a spark when he would tell a story and how he was not somebody you could ignore. But it's hard to see that kind of person be silenced through memory loss. It's hard. But during that time, I also got ill. I have an autoimmune disease. Months before, I had just been diagnosed with ADHD. So there's another thing. And then finally, at the end of last year, I realized, I was burned out. Of course I was burned out, because ADHDers have burnout almost all the time because we're masking all the time. It's exhausting. And this brings me to the point of, I don't feel apathetic in the way that this gentleman was going through, but I did feel like, how do I get back up and feel myself again? And I realized the burnout and the slowdown and all of these things that I find very difficult to be with. I find it difficult to unplug, for instance. This brain, it's moving a mile a minute. I have more things I want to say right now in this minute, but I only have one mouth, so we'll just try to slow her down. And when somebody says, Susan, you needed to slow down, you need to take a break. Okay, fine, but my brain won't. But also in me is this I need to be doing kind of thing that I'm really wrestling to the ground, because that comes from this idea that you are only worth your weight in gold if you are a part of this machinery of doing. It's an action. But often we associate ourselves with doing. And I'm not over it yet. This is like 50 plus years of, indoctrination, if you will. But I was out with a fellow American who also finds herself living here. And she and I were talking about work and money and quality of life and all of the things that you feel a sense of loss and also discombobulated because, you've uprooted your whole entire life to live in a totally different culture. It's not just a quick and easy, hi, I'm here, let's go. It's on a different part of the planet even, it takes some time. But as she was talking about her stuff, I was thinking, yeah, even with my decade plus experience, I still feel that sense of uprootedness and instability. And I think, actually, I know it's because I'm not in my culture, but also I haven't known who I truly was. Like, I am just learning who she really is without somebody saying, don't do that, or you need to do this better, or finding the right instruction manual to live life. I think a lot of us are coming to terms with that. And maybe that's where the apathy is coming in for others. But where I've gotten to, and I was offering this to my friend, and I hope to offer it to you, is finding what is fun and exciting. Almost like, what did you like when you were a kid, when you didn't have to think about politics and the world and war and stuff? This isn't me telling you to ignore what's truly going on. I'd be the last person to say that. But I think there's that's like the simplicity of childhood has some pure energy that I think we should tap into. And I've been thinking about that for myself for a while, because when I think about my space, this Susan's Little Cup of Magic, I can see these videos that I did a long time ago. I was really trying, guys. I am a person who, you roll up your sleeves, work hard, stay focused. You'll get it someday. But I wasn't getting it. And I have to say, the journey of having a business has taught me so much about myself. So last week, I've been doing a few things to help me find my groundedness, right? Which for me, and I'm going to offer you this as a quick tip, it's always going to be within yourself. I believe that. I signed up for my friend's inner circle, my good friend, Nicolene. I'm going to pop it up here on the screen so you can find the interview I did with her on her wonderful book, Human Design. I'm in her group. And she helped me kind of unravel something that I've been kind of having a hard time with. Because business to me, like, I want to do this, I want to do that, and I want to do this. And then sometimes I want to do this, and sometimes I want to do that. And that is who I am. I'm very creative, inspired. And last week, she gave me some clarity. I'm going to share that with you. I'm not really so much a how-to girl. I think you can ask ChatGPT or Claude or whoever your favorite is today. I'm a person that shows. I show through me. What I really do for people is help them get back into the flow of who they truly are, but never felt like they had the permission to do it. By showing up as myself, talking about the things I'm going through, so you don't feel quite alone. Just like I was watching that one YouTuber. I found somebody out there talking about something that I was thinking through and feeling. I hope you find that here in this space. I also came away with some greater understanding about us neurodivergent. I feel like these three things are what neurodivergent, hyper-aware minds do best in, and that is energy, intuition, present moment. Because whenever we have to do anything scripted, plan it out, and against our intuition, we kind of, I mean, at least that's been my experience. I'm like, oh, did I remember the thing? How do I remember the thing? And I've got to tell you guys, the older I get, the harder it is. So energy, we know a lot about energy because when the dopamine drip goes out, we don't have the energy for it, right? But then energy is bigger for us. When we go into a room, we can feel an energy of that room. It's the empath, the highly sensitive part of us. Intuition, it's all our gut. There's something here, the pattern's off, something's wrong that only we can see, but we don't know why we know, see, hear, or feel it. We just know to pay attention. And it's always in the present moment because we forgot even what I said 2 minutes ago. It makes things easy too if you're just focusing in on this moment now. And these are also 3 ways to help you get through these times. That's where I'm at right now. Also, I'm going to be showing up with a couple of comedy sets. If you like what you see and you loved this video, please let me know how this landed for you. You know what to do. There's subscribe buttons and comment areas. Creating a community over on Substack as well as here on YouTube. Lots of love. And from my cup to yours.